Warning: viewers may find the following presentation disturbing. Viewer discretion is advised. Hey guys, welcome back to another YouTube video presentation. Today's hot topic, La Llorona. Alright, so there are multiple versions of her story, but the version I'm going to share and focus on today originates in Mexico. So, Maria, who is also now known as La Llorona, was a woman who lived around the year 1600. She was said to be the most beautiful woman in her town and was not very wealthy. One day, she was walking around when she caught the attention of a very wealthy man. The man definitely liked what he saw and decided to put a ring on it. They lived happily for many years and had two wonderful boys. Their names were Boy 1 and Boy 2. But as time went on, he was around less and less and became more and more distant from her. When he was home, though, he decided to spend all his time and attention on his precious boys, instead of both the boys and the wife. Then, one day, Maria unfortunately discovered that her husband had been cheating on her with another woman. This woman was not as beautiful as her, but wealthier. And this is where he done messed up. Furious, Maria made the hasty decision to get back at him by taking away what was most precious to him, their children. She took them to the river and drowned them both. The only witness was a fire tree that hung over the river. But immediately after the boys took their last breath, she was filled with grief and regret. She then drowned herself in that same river. She now roams in Mexico and southern Texas, weeping at the loss of her boys. She wears a white robed outfit, and it is said that you can spot her by lakes and rivers. And if she was to spot any children or hear them crying, she would stop at nothing to take them and drown them like she did her boys. So definitely not going to catch me around any lakes or rivers. I'm not looking for her, but she's definitely known as powerful and definitely a threat to your kids. So keep them close, hug them tight, hide your kids, hide your wife, and hide your husbands because she's driving everybody out there. So here's a recent picture of La Llorona. As you can see, 400 years hasn't done a single thing to her. She still looks as beautiful as ever, and I can definitely see why her husband was after her at first. I couldn't tell why he would cheat. I just don't. But you can also see the boys on the left. Normal day at the lake, going for a bit of a swim. Boy 1 is on the left, and Boy 2 is on the right. And definitely a catch. And you can see from the picture, her outfit, the white robed outfit. Some will say that it's a funeral outfit, because she's mourning for the loss of her boys, which makes sense. But in my opinion, it looks like she's getting married. So whichever you choose, it's up to you. But there she is, beautiful as ever. All right, so now let's investigate the Mexican culture a little bit. So Mexico is a beautiful country and definitely filled with culture. But along with that culture comes a high price to children. That's discipline. Discipline is in every country, but I find it particularly interesting when it takes the form of punishment. Now, punishment varies, but some very common examples are as follows. Your belt, the chancla, which means sandal in English, and the loss of life. If you've ever experienced these three punishments personally, then you know the worst of the three. The chancla is by far the most severe punishment, in my opinion, but the other two are just honorable mentions. Now, before you start calling CPS on your Hispanic friends' parents for threatening their life, let me explain a little bit. Most of the time we know our parents aren't going to kill us, but what we don't know is what others will do. These parents will use that to their advantage and blame it on El Chupacabra, the boogeyman, and La Llorona, for example. What they'll do for their punishment is threaten that they will get them if they misbehave, right? So you stay in bed or the boogeyman's going to get you. El Chupacabra is going to get you. I don't know. And particularly for La Llorona, we have this example. All right. So it's an average day at Fiesta, right? You're shopping for your meat. You're going to have the whole family over for a quince. I don't know. And your kid starts crying. And I'm not talking about crying. I'm talking about screaming, throwing a fit. You're embarrassed. They're super loud and you don't know what to do. I got your solution right here. This is what the people will do. So as we mentioned, La Llorona hears kids crying, and if she does, she'll comfort them and try to drown them, right? So that's what you do. You tell your kid that if they keep crying, La Llorona is going to hear them and come get them. And then, watch, I promise, if your kid has any bit of sense in them, you're going to see them turn from this to this faster than you can say ayúdame, which means help me in English. I think it's safe to say that no child wants to see this when they close their eyes. I mean, I don't even want to see this. And I'm older. I'm way older. This form of punishment will instill fear into the child. Not necessarily fear of the parent or guardian, but of La Llorona herself. I recently interviewed my hall director here on campus, and even he told me that the fear of her was real and no joke to him. So, this form of punishment is a real thing. Whether or not it is ethical is up for debate, but it is a common form of discipline in the Mexican culture. So I bet you're wondering why she continues to kill. And if she is in such mourning, why does she hurt more children? Well, there are multiple reasons as to why. After she killed herself in the river, she went before the gates of heaven. But God denied her entry because of what she had done. He said that she would be forgiven on Judgment Day when he returns again. So now she roams the earth looking for her boys and crying out, "Ay mi hijos," which means, "Oh my children" in English. The reason she kills children, though, is because she hopes to claim them as her own. A little sick, but seeing how she is crazy, I don't put it past her. To sum it all up, she is honestly just sad and lonely. She killed her kids and is separated from them. All she wants to do is have them back, and particularly that relationship back. If she wasn't so murdery, I would feel kind of bad for her. She is just stuck here alone. And that's a lesson we can all learn from. Don't kill your kids. Spoiler alert. I have seen the movie that recently came out this year. And I'm not really giving out too much, but it's still something. And I know some people are sensitive about it. So just a warning. It's not really a big deal. It's told at the beginning of the movie, but fair warning. But wait, there's more. There is hope. I present to you the fire tree. This tree is said to be the only witness to the murder. And I know what you're thinking. But wait, how can this tree be a witness? Does this tree talk? You're crazy. Well, it's mythology, so whether you choose to believe it or not is your thing. But I will tell you the power that it holds over her is real. So you better start believing if you want to live. The way to use it is simple. Basically, just use it. I mean, it's literally like Superman and Kryptonite. Just being around it hurts him. And you can put it into a lot of forms, and it has the same effect. Same with a tree. You can use the wood, and it's often in the shape of a cross. You can use the seeds. You can even use the leaves somehow. It doesn't matter because she does not like it at all. Oh, and by the way, the tree to the left is not the tree, but just a representation. Google didn't have a picture of the tree, and I didn't want to take a picture of it while in the theater. I'm pretty sure that's illegal. Alright, so let's look at some similar examples on weaknesses that we can see correlating from the fire tree of La Llorona to examples we have present. So first we got vampires. Alright, obviously everybody knows a lot about vampires. The picture of the vampire is the one top center, the man with the big wings. That's Dracula, and his weakness really is, as we all know, a stake to the heart, dead. Sunlight with so much exposure, dead. Garlic, I don't know why they actually don't like that, but dead. Holy water, dead. And I'm sure I'm missing something else, but those are its weaknesses. With control, with proportions, right? So I need enough for one to die, but those are his weaknesses. All right, let's look at werewolf. Werewolf's the bottom center, right? The picture of that ferocious beast. So werewolves look like talking about the werewolf that ate Granny in Little Red Riding Hood. His thing is silver, so looking at silver, touching silver, especially touching silver, it'll burn them. So much of it, dead. Oh, that's it for vampires. The silver too. No, it's not silver. Anyway, so vampires, silver. So Victor, the guy on the bottom right, especially powerful on this list. His weakness is any form of chocolate, So particularly Dairy Queen's M&M Blizzard. Loves that stuff. It's his weakness. You should get him some. All right, moving on. Rumpelstiltskin. Rumpelstiltskin, however you pronounce it. His weakness is his dagger. So his picture is presented in the top left. That little guy from Shrek 3. I'm pretty sure it's 3. His weakness is his dagger, right? So he's all powerful. He's got a lot of power that he can use as a disposal, do pretty much anything, except when someone holds that dagger. When someone holds that dagger, they control him. Anything his free will is gone. They basically own the Dark One. Is what another name is the Dark One. So Rumpelstiltskin, his weakness, the dagger, and particularly if he gets stabbed by that dagger, dead. Otherwise, he can't die. Nothing will hurt him. And then finally, we got Baba Yaga. So Baba Yaga is Russian. It's a Russian folktale. And to sum it up fast, it's an old woman who likes to eat kids, right? So it's said that she's the grandmother of Satan, the devil, but she's her own thing right now. You can see in the background she's got a house with chicken legs, so her house can move. But her weakness is apparently it's her ignorance. So she can apparently be outsmarted very easily. And so I was kind of surprised by this one, because usually powerful beings are smarter, but not this one. Apparently. So the example that I read was, for example, the firewood. So her firewood, it could be dampened with water and she would not know a thing, but she could also be dampened with oil fluid or lamp fluid, and she wouldn't know either. So she lights that thing, she's gonna be shocked. But I don't know if you can kill her. I never read anything about killing her, but what I did read was that her weakness being her intelligence, that most people would just escape her capture. So before she eats the kids, she'll hold them, and the kids will try and escape through that time. So it's an interesting myth from Russia. I would look into it if I were y'all and on your own time. It's pretty cool. But those are just a few examples of similar kind of weaknesses and how it brings their downfall. Alright, so in summary, Maria, also known as La Llorona, killed her kids and misses them very much. She now kills kids in hopes to have them as her own. She's usually found in southern Mexico, or not in southern Mexico, southern Texas and Mexico, found near bodies of water, rivers, lakes, etc. Parents and guardians use her as a form of discipline and punishment. Ethical, up for debate, but they do use her and among other creatures to threaten harm may come to the child if they continue such disobedience. And then also her weakness to the fire tree, which was the fire tree was the witness to the murder. So there you go. All right, now a couple of questions for y'all to take away with and think about on your own is, do you think that this myth should be used as a form of discipline as we see in this culture today? Right, so we talked about how parents will threaten that these creatures, these things will cause harm to them if they disobey. So do you think that's right? Do you think that making them so scared for their life is something that parents should do, or do you think it's just, oh, that's not going to actually happen? So tell me, guys, what you think, and then also, why do you think the versions of the myth vary? Hope, discipline, for fear. So there, like I said, there's a bunch of different versions, but why do you think that myths vary for any reason? Right? Do you think it's just bad storytelling? Do you think it's people want to put their twist on it and put their foot mark on it? Do you think it's for hope, discipline, or for fear? I just want to know why you guys think people change the story down the line. So a couple questions for you to take away as you. All right, and that's going to wrap up this video presentation. Again, this was brought to you by Victor Ramirez, Jr., a student at Stephen F. Austin State University. If you liked the video, hit the like button. If you didn't, don't hit the dislike button. Just don't do anything. And if you have anything to add, you want to answer my questions, you want to say something that you personally experienced or anything, leave a comment down below. And as always, this is your boy, Victor Ramirez. Sign off after another video. You have a great one.